Okay, so I'm still here on the island, and before I go any further, I wanted to show this cemetery right here. This here is known as St. Anne Cemetery. The original location of the cemetery was actually on the front part of the island, right where all the tourists would come in. So if you were like a tourist and this was your first time coming to the island, it wasn't all that appealing to see a cemetery right there in the front. So certain agencies, tourist agencies, kind of got together and said, we need to resolve this. So they hired a certain company to come in and to help move everything from the front part of the island to this location, which is kind of basically, I think, I'm not exactly sure of the exact location, but I want to say it's kind of like in the middle part of the island or close to it. At any rate, now there were a couple of issues for doing this. One, they had 2 weeks to complete this task. I don't know why there was a time limit, but there just was. Second, as they were moving the headstones and the caskets, they marked the caskets with chalk, I believe, to indicate who was who before they would put them in the grave. The problem was is that as they were escorting the caskets to their new graves, it started to rain. So these guys really had to rush to get these guys to get the coffins in the proper location. Now, granted, I think some of the chalk was completely wiped off due to the rain. So these guys really actually had to look at they had to retrace their steps in terms of looking at the maps, who was buried, who was bugs, who was when they stacked the caskets on the wagons, who was stacked first and all this other stuff. They really had to put their thinking caps on so they can at least try to get these guys in the proper grave marks. But after that was completed, there was really no other issues. Now, there are hundreds of people that do request to get buried here. Now, because there's not a lot of land here in this location, no one can just be accepted. There has to be, it has to go through some kind of committee to get an approval so that they can be buried here. If you were born here on the island or if you lived here on the island, you have a really good, easy chance of getting your request accepted. If you're somebody like myself, I only visit the island. I never lived here, wasn't born here. So if I were to put in a request, there's a 50% chance it might get accepted and 50% chance that I will be denied. But like I said, it's really, I'm not sure who it is that makes this decision, but at any rate, yeah, so a lot of people do put in a request. I don't know how often people get buried here, so that's something I never really looked into, and I really don't think I want to. But at any rate, I just thought I'd share that with you all. Hope you enjoyed that, and well, have a nice day.